Hi Team Grade 5, welcome to another edition of Grade 5 Science. My name is Miss Aaliyah Brewster and it's time for us to work. But just in case you're not feeling motivated, remember the words of Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Without further ado, let's dive into today's lesson. The solar system is a collection of 8 planets and their moons in orbit around the Sun, together with smaller bodies in the form of asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. These bodies make up the solar system. The planets of the solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now let's move on to discussing the Sun. You may know the Sun as that circular ball that gives off heat, right? But it's more than that. You see, at the center of the solar system is a star called the Sun. That's right, the Sun, it's a star. It is the largest object in the solar system. The Sun is a very hot ball of hydrogen and helium gases. It constantly changes the hydrogen in its core into helium. This process gives out huge amount of radiation or energy. Living things on Earth depend on this energy in the form of light and heat. You see, without the Sun, we would cease to exist. Human beings, we are highly dependent on the heat and the light that radiates from the Sun. Did you know that the gases that surround the Sun shoot out a stream of tiny particles called solar wind? It flows outwards through the whole solar system. The solar system is what causes auroras, or displays of colored light in the night sky in certain parts of Earth. In the northern hemisphere, these auroras are called the northern lights. Now that we're finished discussing the Sun, it's time to discuss each planet briefly. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, and it's about as wide as the Atlantic Ocean. Imagine 18 Mercuries could fit into Earth. The planet does not have an atmosphere, just like it is on all other planets. There is no water present on this dangerous planet either. Venus. Venus is the second planet away from the Sun. Venus is named after the Roman goddess of beauty. It is also known as the evening or morning star. Yellow clouds made from sulfur and sulfuric acid cover the entire planet, causing light to reflect off of the surface. This makes Venus the second brightest object in the night sky after the moon. Venus is very similar to Earth in terms of size and material. However, it is the hottest planet in the solar system, with temperatures reaching 460 degrees Celsius or 480 degrees Fahrenheit. The surface of Venus hosts thousands of volcanoes, craters, and super high mountain ranges. Earth is the 5th largest planet in our solar system and has one natural satellite, which is the Moon. Did you know that all planets were named after Roman Greek gods and goddesses, except Earth? The name Earth, nevertheless, is more than 1,000 years old, and it means ground. Earth is our home. This is the only place where life is known to actually exist. Most of the Earth's surface is about 70% of water. Mars. Mars is the most likely candidate for a second home. However, it is affected by huge dust storms that occur every now and then and covers the entire planet. Mars is very cold and dry, but water exists in the form of ice at the north and south poles. The surface of Mars has many craters, deep valleys, and volcanoes. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. The most famous feature on the surface of this planet is the Great Red Spot. which is actually a storm that has been blowing for about 350 years, if not longer. Jupiter has some of the largest moons in the solar system, and one in particular, Europa, might be able to sustain life in an ocean below its icy surface. Saturn. Saturn is a gas giant like Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus. This means it doesn't really have a proper solid surface, as it is mainly made up of gases with a small rocky core. Saturn is the second largest planet and is known for its rings. Although the other gas giants also have these kinds of rings, only Saturn's rings can be seen the clearest. Uranus. Uranus is the second farthest planet from the Sun and therefore also has to travel a pretty long time to go once around our home star. It takes Uranus roughly 84 years to orbit around the Sun. Uranus is a blue planet, not because of water, but because of the gases that make it appear blue. Uranus orbits on one side, which means that its seasons are completely different to ours. Summer and winter each take 21 years at the North and South poles. Neptune. Neptune is closely related to Uranus. The atmosphere is composed of almost the same gases, just like Uranus. Neptune also appears blue. Neptune inherits its name from the Roman god of the sea, as reference to its deep blue color. Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun, and it takes 165 years for Neptune to go once around the Sun. Now that we would have learned about the planets, it's time to discuss the way in which the Earth moves. The Earth moves in two ways. It spins and it moves around the Sun. The spinning of the Earth is called rotation. It takes the Earth about 24 hours or 1 day to make a complete rotation. Therefore, rotation is the result of night and day. So rotation is the result of night and day. As the Earth rotates, various parts of the Earth experience night, while another part may experience day. At the same time the Earth is rotating, the Earth is moving around the Sun. This is called a revolution. It takes a little over 365 days or 1 year for the Earth to make one full revolution around the Sun. So every new year, think of it that way. The Earth would have made a complete rotation around the Sun. So you see, the Earth is actually turning like this, but it's also going around the Sun. So let's pretend I'm the Sun. The Earth moves in two directions. It spins on its own, and that causes night and day. But it also moves around me, pretending to be the Sun, obviously, which makes a revolution, and that takes about 365 days or 1 year. Therefore, if we were to pretend that I am the Sun, the Earth would move in an anti-clockwise direction by rotating, and this takes about 24 hours and it causes night and day. However, it also moves in the same anti-clockwise direction but around the Sun, So it's spinning, and it goes around and around. And that takes about 365 days or 1 year. Now let's discuss the Earth's tilt. The rotation and revolution of the Earth does not cause our seasons. The seasons are summer, winter, spring, and fall. The Earth's tilt is actually responsible for the season. These seasons are a direct consequence of the Earth's tilt. You see, as the Earth spins, it tilts. It is because of this tilt that we have the seasons. This will change how high the Sun will get in the sky. Another important concept to learn when we're discussing the Earth is to know where the equator is located. At the equator, Halfway between the North and South Pole, there are no seasons. This is because the sun always gets high in the sky there. That is why it's always warm at the equator. Did you know that Guyana is located closer to the equator? That is a direct responsibility for us not having winters. Finally, let's discuss the northern and the southern hemisphere. To understand this, you have to ask yourself this question. Does everyone or every country on the planet have spring, summer, fall, and winter at the same time? The answer would be no. The southern half of the Earth or the globe is just the opposite of the northern hemisphere. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. The southern half of the globe is the opposite of the northern half of the globe. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. And if you notice from the photograph, the two hemispheres are located above and below the equator. Now it's time for us to do an activity. For this activity, we're asked to complete the order of the planets from the sun. So looking at the diagram, you would notice there are 3 planets without a name. You have to guess and tell me what the name of those planets are in the order from the sun. Let's verify. The planet that is closest to the sun is Mercury, and this is followed by Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now it's time for us to do our second activity. This is true or false. The first statement: the Earth is the only planet on which known life exists. The Earth is the only planet on which known life exists. Number 2, Mars is also called the red planet. Mars is also called the red planet. Number 3, Jupiter is the smallest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is the smallest planet in our solar system. And 4, Saturn is the first planet in our solar system. Saturn is the first planet in our solar system. And the final one, Saturn has rings around it that are made of ice and dust. Saturn has rings around it that are made of ice and dust. True or false? Let's verify your answers. The first statement, the Earth is the only planet on which known life exists, would be true. The second statement, Mars is also called the red planet, that is also true. The third statement, Jupiter is the smallest planet in our solar system, that is wrong. Jupiter is actually the largest planet in our solar system. The fourth statement, Saturn is the first planet in our solar system. That is false. Saturn is not the first planet in our solar system. If we were to look at the planet, comparing it with the order in which it appears towards the sun, the first planet would be Mercury. And the final statement, Saturn has rings around it that are made of ice and dust. True. The rings around Saturn are made of ice and dust. Okay, boys and girls, that has brought us to the end of our lesson. I trust that you would have enjoyed all that we discussed today. And remember the words of Marie Curie, nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.